Okay. Fourth down. Clock is running.
What's good? What's good? What's good? Oh, let me fill this right here.
Make it a 2-point
Okay.
game.
What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Leo. Welcome back to the bird section. Ah! Okay, y'all. So right now, it's the fourth quarter. Buffalo, Miami. Miami gave them a run. It's 28 to 21 right now. And I think Buffalo, it's like 25 seconds left, and Buffalo look like they're threatening to score again, maybe. I doubt it. They almost made the point score. I think it was supposed to be, it was even at 50. I think it was like over under 50. 150, yeah, 50. Yeah. So, you know, oh, oh, wait a minute now. My bad, y'all. I got it wrong. They're kicking a field goal. Okay. Fourth quarter, 4th and 5, 48-yard field goal. And nope. Oh, yeah, he got it. He got it. So they got the point spread over 50. That's what that was about. That's what that was about. If you bet the over on 50, you just won. So they hooked some people up, broke some other hearts. Okay, I get it. It is what it is, you know. Um, just was sitting here earlier watching Mark Holmes talking his talk, dealing with the things that he's got to deal with. And so I figured I told everybody I was going to come back on. I'm hoping one of my people's pop in here real quick too, and we could we can talk this out. So here's the thing, and I said this in my live earlier, that I felt as though and I'm looking at, I don't see it. I don't see the watermark. So okay. Let me see something. Yeah, it does say that here. Yeah, he's right. Okay. So I gotta figure out how to get rid of that watermark. Glad to know that now. Okay. So anywho, you know, um, what do I have for y'all tonight? What do I have for y'all tonight? And I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get everything situated, let some other people get in the room before I really start going in on the things that I want to talk about, the things that I think I know about this game, coming up against the Los Angeles Rams. Um, and as you guys pop on in, please hook your boy up and hit the like button. It's always a thing. That's the tip jar right there. You know what I'm saying? That's the tip jar. All right, so Tua's got the ball. Dolphins he just hiked it that the 40, 50, stepped out of bounds at I mean, it don't matter. 16 seconds left. You Buffalo's up 31-21. Yeah, this game's over. Yeah, this game's more than over. Josh Allen had a pretty good night. I don't think he scored. I don't think he ran one in, but he didn't have to, especially with his face feeling like it does. I bet he didn't want to take no shots. So I'll give him that. Come on in, folks. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Let's talk about it. Let's talk. Oh, Tua. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Okay. Yeah, this game's over. So, how y'all feeling about things, y'all? Talk to me. How y'all feeling about week 3? What do you think about our next opponent, the Los Angeles Rams? I'm gonna tell you what I think. You know, I said a little bit of it earlier when I was on live earlier today, but since I got a little bit of time now and I promised some folk that I would hop on in here, I figure why not, you know, hold on for a second. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, so talk to your boy. Tell me what y'all thinking. Hmm? you think about, week 3 against the Los Angeles Rams? I want to know. Tell me. I would really like to know. You know, I think that, ooh, all right. Mike McDaniels just ran his ass off the field rather fast. Okay, Josh, see you. All right. So here's the thing, folks. You know, the Los Angeles Rams, this is going to be our biggest test thus far. It's week 3, an early test, but a test nonetheless. And so I'm especially excited, especially when you think about, the youngins on our defense. You know what I'm saying? This in this game will have the youngest defense, one of the youngest defenses against one of the oldest offenses when it comes to the Los Angeles Rams. Matthew Stafford being the gunslinger that he is, he's one of those quarterbacks that he's not as mobile as the some of the quarterbacks we've already faced, like Dak, you know, and Patrick, but nonetheless a very dangerous and lethal quarterback, especially if he has time to throw the ball. He's got some really phenomenal premier toys in his wide receivers, Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. You know, um, so and they've got a great running back in Kyron Williams. And so, this is going to be a good test for our defense. Thinking about I'm also thinking about the DB2 position opposite Quinion, and here's the thing, it's not going to be just the DB2 because this is going to be a test for Quinion. Matthew Stafford is one of those type of quarterbacks that will push the envelope, okay, and he will throw right at Quinion Mitchell just to see. And I get, our history and, going against this team. And hold on, I'm just trying to shut this off because I want to give you guys my undivided attention, and it's difficult for me to concentrate with this still going. All right, there we go. So, boom, busted. So, when I look at who we have, there we go. Hold on. Scott B, what's up, man? Ready for the game? Sunday, I'm telling you, Dory Jackson going to screw us over in one of these close games. Hope not. It's almost like they are waiting for that, which is stupid. I, yeah, like that's why I was just telling everybody. I think that DB2 position is going to get exploited, and this is where the crux of our. What up, Drew? What up? What up? What up? You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Matter of fact, Drew, you want to hop in here? You know what I'm saying? Let me, hold on. Let me send this to Drew. Hold on. Yeah. All right, Drew. I just sent it to you. I just sent you the link. You know what I'm saying? Hop on in if you can. Oh, okay. You say you can't right now. Come on, Scott and Fangio, we trust. I can't right now. Okay, got you. All right. If you happen to be able to while I'm still on, hop in. Okay. In the meantime, let me get back to the regularly scheduled program. So I do think that the DB2 position will definitely get tested, but I also think the DB1 position will get tested. Our ability to run, our ability to stop the run, to limit that is going to be tested as well. Now here's the thing. You've seen what Saquon has done to this team. You know what I'm saying? No doubt, Drew. No doubt. I got you. You've seen what Saquon has done to this team. He has carved them up. Now the thing about it is that I'm not like a lot of other Eagles fans. Like I don't think that this is going to be a foregone conclusion that Saquon's going to have another one of those big games. If he didn't, I wouldn't be surprised. If he did, I wouldn't be surprised. that's the thing about this particular team. This game can be an offensive explosion for the Eagles, or it could be another dud, and actually a offensive explosion for the Rams. If you ask me, the Rams look like they're coming along a lot better at week 3 than the Eagles are in terms of the way they're playing. You know, hey, listen, I keep going back and telling everybody, you don't know what kind of team you have until after week 4. You know, around week 5, that's when you know what kind of team you really have. And so the fact that we've gotten this far, just being 2-0 with, and our squad, we're normally a slow starting team. You know, what up, Logan? What's good? What's good? I'm up here talking about, how we going what I think about this game that's coming up. I do think that it could go either way. I just don't think that it's a foregone conclusion that Saquon's going to, carve them up like he's done in the last 2 games against them. I think that, what Nick and Vic and Kevin Patullo has done. Well, what more so what Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts have been doing is I think they're just watching and looking at teams play them the way that they do. You know what I'm saying? I think that, you know, I don't know. I just feel like, you know, after 8 quarters is not a good enough sample size for me to be calling for the offensive coordinator's head. I made the mistake of last year really jumping in and getting on Nick Sirianni at the beginning of the season when he started barking back at some of the fans from some of the Eagles fans during the game, and I was like, "No, you can't be doing that, bro. Not here." You know what I'm saying? Don't talk to those people. Once they know they get into you, they're never gonna stop. And so, and then look what happened. They ended up turning it around, and we win the Super Bowl. And I feel like that was a lesson learned on my part because I was so quick to be judgmental after just a very small sample size. So I'm not doing that. Imani Bentley was good. Go Birds. I know that's right. Listen, y'all, hook me up while y'all here. Hook me up. Hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that hasn't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button too as well. Like y'all already know what the goal is. I'm gonna make that happen. But I just I'm not saying I'm not feeling the game. What I am saying is that I feel like this is going to be the best test so far of what we have. And I think that the Eagles are up for it, and I'm gonna tell y'all the biggest reason is because first of all, when you look at the kind of game that Andrew Makuba had last weekend, like the safety that question mark at the safety position was is no longer there for me, you know. And seeing how he was playing, like that rookie was like, yo, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And I think he got ran. He got hit hard earlier in the game, and then all of a sudden he just started laying wood on everybody. Yeah, let's get those likes and oh, thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Yeah, I want to get to 1,000 followers. Yeah, 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 for real. Hook your boy up. But I do think that, when you look at the way this team has been playing, it's like you could tell, what I'm saying? You could tell they are about due for an offensive explosion. I really feel like that. Dallas Goedert's back to practicing, so he'll probably be a go for the game, you know, which means that should Dallas start the game, then we'll be back to having our full complement of weaponry, on the field, this early. So like to see how they're doing. I'm hearing some good things coming out of practice today, you know, I mean yesterday, so we'll see, we'll see. I think that, the mindset is there. These guys realize who they're playing. And again, I said this earlier before the season started that, looking at the schedule, they're like 11 of those teams that we play in our schedule, we could probably end up seeing twice, you know what I'm saying, in the regular season and in the playoffs. because we have to play Detroit, we have to play Buffalo, we have to play Kansas City, we got to play the Chargers. Leo, I'm expecting a big game from the offense this week. I think, yeah, we're about due, but the way the Rams defense have been playing, I mean, not the defense, I'm sorry, the way the Rams offense has been playing, it could quickly turn into a shootout. I'm not predicting that, but I could see it happening because again, you know, of the quarterbacks that we've seen, so far, Matthew Stafford is the one that's longest in the tooth, and so that's just one of those things where we gotta, and hey, look, y'all, it's almost 11:30. It's 11:21 right now. So when it's 11:21 at this stage and the game is over, I gotta, I gotta do my thing. Because again, these are just the things that I think I know. And the only reason why I think I know these things is because I've just been watching the film, been listening to the way people talk, but I'm also just looking at the way this has been the funniest looking start of a season ever. And I think maybe it's because we're the Super Bowl champions. And I say this too. You know, um, the Rams are gonna come to Philadelphia with a little pep in their step because y'all know that they feel like they came the closest to beating us in the playoffs. And I'm sure they feel like we won their Super Bowl. Okay, because they actually believed they were going to the Super Bowl, right? That being said, to the Rams, coming back to Philadelphia to play us as a stepping stone, it's not just a stepping stone to get them back towards the playoffs, but it's also they're returning to the scene of a crime in their minds. Rams are a legit team, at least on paper. This should be a good test. Your team is looking fine right now, but the concern is you got to start throwing deeper. Teams starting to load up on Saquon. That's what I was saying, Coyote. That's what I'm saying. I think they're watching. Like I think Kevin Patullo and Jalen Hurts and them is just watching how teams are actually, scheming to go against them, and seeing and just sort of kind of throwing some shit at the wall just to see what sticks. And we've been winning. I just don't, and I don't think the Rams are better than us. That's the thing. I just think that they're going to give us the best test so far. Dallas was not really. I'll tell everybody. I don't care how close the game was against Dallas. It was week one. That was the tune-up game, and then it got really funky because of the rain delay. But then when you also look at the next big test came against Kansas City, and that was with them wounded. Okay, they were shorthanded. Not to mention they were mentally out of it too. You saw how Travis Kelce was looking. He missed that ball any other day or any other time. He's catching that crossover into the end zone, but he bobbled it and Makuba took it out all the way back down the other way. I loved it. Coyote, only 2 passes in 2 games that had airtime travel 10 plus yards that are stacking. Wait a minute, am I reading that right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I again, we've only got 8 quarters. You know what I'm saying? We've only got, and it's not enough for me. It's not enough for me. I need to see, especially since our MO is we always start off slow anyway. You know what I'm saying? 2-0, okay. We lose games at the beginning of the season. We lose games that we should be winning. You know what I'm saying? So I just think, like we should have won against Atlanta. We should have won against Tampa Bay. And we got to play them the following week. So, like Tampa Bay right after the Rams. So, you know, this this beginning of our schedule and this, our inability to get going, that's true, Coyote, but let's not act like Jalen is one of the best deep ball throwers in the league, which he throws. Yeah, when he throws, yeah. We know, look, everybody. Let's stop playing around. Okay, let's stop pussyfooting around and let's call it like what it really is. Y'all know what we gonna do. You know we're gonna give it to Saquon. You know it's gonna go to at some point it's gonna end up going to AJ and Devontae. I would say this. Uh uh I agree. You won't really know what's up till about week 4 or 5. Teams are still finding out who they are, and that's my point. Here's the thing. You know what, Coyote? And this is for you too, Drew. Here's my thing, right? You could if you look at for us, you know what I'm saying, week 4, week 5, let's see. Okay. So week 4 we have Tampa Bay and week 5 we have Denver at home, right? So here's what I'm thinking, right? Teams week 4 up until from now till week 5, you know what I'm saying, week 4 or 5, you can stumble and bumble your way into being 4-0. Okay, you could really stumble and bumble your way into being 4-0. Tampa Bay is still trying to figure out who they are. Um, the Los Angeles Rams are still trying to figure out who they are. I think they're a lot further ahead in figuring out who they are than we are. Just by virtue of how I see them executing their game plans out through 2 weeks. Um, and then who else do we have? Yeah, should have just kept it right here. Tampa Bay and the Rams, and then Denver. You know what I'm saying? I really think that we could stumble our way into a 4-0, 5-0 type of situation. Only because those teams are also those teams too are stumbling and bumbling their way into wins and losses as well. So if there's ever a time for those teams to lose a game that they could win, we would be the perfect candidate for that to happen, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't be, it just depends. It depends on how it all looks. You know what I'm saying? But I'm reading body language, particularly that from the players on the sidelines. Coyote, I agree. You won't really know what's up until about 4 or 5. Teams are still finding out who they are. Coyote, that's a fact. It's like a survival game early, but best time to get hot and peak is later in the season. And I like that too. I like that too. I agree. I really agree. But here's the thing though, right? Bust this. Mm. We went 2-2. We started the season last year 2-2, and we ended the season 14-3. Okay, so there was a stretch, I think, where we won 10 straight games after our second loss. I think there was a stretch where we went like 8 games, 10 or 8 games where we didn't lose, and then we lost one, and then we won out. You see what I'm saying? And that right there, and the thing about it was that the team once after week 3, yeah, after week 3, no, it was after week 5 or something like that. Whatever the last of the first two losses was, you saw the Eagles heating up even more and more and more and more and more, and they kept it going throughout the entire season until I think we lost one game because I think we lost the last game or the next to the last game because we were resting starters. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what was going on. I think the last game, yeah, Saquon didn't even play in the last game, because they were like, should he get the 2,000 or should they, I mean, he got the 2,000, but they was like, should he get the actual record itself? And they chose to sit him, So I would think that, you know, watching this team and the amount of talent that's on this team and seeing how they're playing, they're still figuring themselves out. I think they still need a few more live fire exercises before we could actually I need more live I need at least 16 You know what I'm saying? 12 to 16 more live fire exercise. Well, a total of 12 to 16 live fire exercises before I start making my assessment on what this team is. Mm. Yeah, Scotty B's week 5. You know, oh, okay. Sorry about that, y'all. Got a message. You know what I'm saying? Uh-oh. Man, man. The landscaper left the gate open on my boys at my boy's house, and his dogs got out, so he on a rescue mission. Oh man. And them dogs is crazy in a funny way. But anywho, it's getting back to the Eagles and the Rams. Yeah, y'all. Mm, I really do think that, after week 5, barring no major injuries or anything like that, and these guys be ability. I listen. I think I got sidetracked, but I was pointing this out earlier. That our linebacking core, Jahad Campbell, Zach Bond, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. And I think one of the other thing I like too was I saw a little bit more of a pass rush with Zadarius Smith. I think that's going to be one of those good job, Howie. Like one of those, he called that one in. You know what I'm saying? That was a good one right there. So I'm all right with that. Mm. Giants gave my Cowboys all they can handle. I think it was a good test. We should improve from positives and negatives. Defense is trash. I was just about to say, Coyote, yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, regardless of how it worked, and again, keeping the main thing, which is you won the game. You understand what I'm saying? You won the game. But when a team scores 37 points, there's a particular point total that if the opposite team got that on you, that's something that you really that's alarming. That means something catastrophic happened on the sideline when the team when on the defense when another team scores 37. Regardless of how many turnovers and all that stuff, it's 37 points. How? Because and here's the thing, it's the Giants. You know what I'm saying? I think you guys like from the point spread. I think y'all were supposed to beat them. I think y'all were supposed to beat them. I figured y'all would. I figured it was going. I know their defenses, their pass rushes, gotten phenomenal and everything like that. But I'm just saying, I really thought the Giants was. I thought it was going to be not as competitive as it was. Most certainly didn't think I would see, 77 points. I didn't think that, you know what I'm saying? Really, I really didn't see 77 points, combined points coming in that game, and it was really on some, and the thing about it is it was the way that those points were made. You guys were put in some pretty, precarious positions. You had to have your kicker come in and kick a 64-yard field goal. I get that there are games that it can come down to that, kicking a field goal, but the fact of the matter is that's like god damn. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all, like your kicker saved you. You know what I'm saying? Dak did his thing. You know what I'm saying? And then he did his thing. So like I'm not going to take nothing away from him, but like that film room. Oh man, I could only imagine. You know, um, Coyote would say that the game. Coyote Dallas defense is not good. 37 and Russ throwing for almost 500 yards. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? If I'm, like for us, right? You know, if I'm planning against y'all, oh shit. Russ, the best thing Russ did was give the rest of your opponents the blueprint, like seriously. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you guys miss Micah, and we could, you know, call it what you want, trolling, whatever, but the evidence speaks for itself, Your Honor. You know what I'm saying? I mean, goddamn. You know what I'm saying? 37 points and four over 450 yards from the quarterback, Russell Wilson. Y'all had him looking like he was, back at the Legion of Boom. And I know y'all heard that all week. Yeah, shit, because it was fucking true. You know what I'm saying? Like they was saying the old shit, like let Russ cook. Y'all really let that motherfucker cook. It was nice to see that he could still do it, but goddamn. I mean, seriously, y'all, what the like really? So again, you know what I'm saying? Everybody got some shit they got to clean in their house and everything like that. But I will say that, and the Commanders, listen, y'all, Washington. I think y'all need to go get in the weeds, like go with Jesse and them. You know what I'm saying? Because I all it took was for one season, one full season, and teams can start scheming up against JD 55. JD 55 got his ass kicked. Okay. More so than he should have. All that scrambling around shit that he did last year, that shit is over. Okay. It is over. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen anymore. Not like that. Not like that. And I wonder if your team is going to be able to hold up playing like this. This is not sustainable either. And mind y'all, that's it. It's you guys. You're the oldest team in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, you're the oldest team in the league, and he getting hit up like that? Shit. Okay. 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 So there's a lot to be desired there. You know what I mean? And again, our defense, we held our opponent to 20 points. You know what I'm saying? Once again, that opponent was Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, a short-handed Patrick Mahomes, but nonetheless, that was Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? So and here's the thing, with lots to clean up. They did that with still lots to clean up. Okay, that's a damn good football team for real. The Eagles are a damn good football team. And listen, and Drew, if you watching, Russ was cooking oatmeal and prune juice on Dallas. Yeah, listen, Drew, I figured something out. So, and I'm going to say it on here without actually having to give it away, but I can start building up some anticipation. So I sat back and I thought about this, and I said, okay, and this is in light of what me and this everybody. I'm doing this on purpose. Okay, I'm just talking to Drew, but in front of everybody on purpose. Okay, these are like little Easter eggs I'm about to start dropping. This is my first Easter egg. So, Drew, what I figure I would do is based off of what you and I talked about earlier today, I realized that tomorrow I'm going to sit down and I'm going to record. I just saw that. Oh, oh, oh. Hold on, y'all. Okay. Oh, come on. Okay. So, in light of what we, oh, y'all can tell I'm high. Anywho, I'm high, like Mark likes to say. But Drew, what I plan on doing is tomorrow I'm going to sit down and I'm going to record what you and I talked about. And I'm gonna just make one long prediction. You know what I'm saying? Make sure I prove that today is today or the day will be the day, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make that recording and then I'm gonna keep it private. Okay. And then I'm gonna keep it private. All right. I'm gonna just store it in the cloud, you know what I'm saying? And set and actually schedule the day that it will, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to schedule it to come out on the day of the Super Bowl. That's what I'll do. It'll always be something that'll be, and I'm gonna have it like be listed as upcoming, but the date will be, you know what I'm saying? Like here's my Super Bowl prediction, from September, and then just hold it and then make it public. So that's how I'm gonna do it. Hey y'all, so I'm not gonna tell you what it was, but I did say something earlier. Yeah, I said something. I said something to Drew earlier today. And Drew, listen, just do me a favor and make a comment about not what I talked, not what I said, but write up a comment real quick right now in the chat so we could video log this, right? This would be like so way we could document it, right? But I said something to Drew. I told him something that I was thinking, you know what I'm saying? Because it just made sense to me. You know what I'm saying? And I shared it with Drew. Drew was the only person, he was the first person that I had said it to. And Drew said, you know what? When I think about it, when you say it like that, he's like, I you might be right. And I'm like, yeah, so I was like, it's just, it was just a thought. So it just dawned on me because I was staring at the schedule earlier. So I'm gonna make a video, right, about this conversation tomorrow, and then I'm gonna let it be on the channel scheduled to come out on the day of the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Now, there could be some mitigating circumstances and stuff like that. They may dictate whether I might premiere it sooner rather than later. And if that's the case, I'll definitely let y'all know. I'll just update it as we go. But update I'll just update the premiere of that video. But it's some of my finest work. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. Like, hey, matter of fact, matter of fact, Drew, if we get to 10,000, if we get to 10,000, you know what I'm saying? If we get to 10,000, but I'm a break down for everybody what I told Drew today. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna break it down the same way for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And then in the video and just say and just keep it at private but scheduled. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 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 yeah. And it's gonna fuck everybody up. Then again, I might just because I might just keep it at the Super Bowl because I'm already on the hook. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't know. Anybody who don't know, you know what I'm saying? I am still on the hook with Mark Holmes because I told him the day of the Super Bowl that not only was the Eagles going to win the Super Bowl, but I also said that we were going to uh repeat and threaten to three-peat. And so you could sort of kind of say I amended uh that thought process. You know what I'm saying? And so now it's gotten deeper. And so uh Donald, what's good, dog? What's good? What up, Leo? Eagles brother just tapped in. Fly, Eagles, fly. Donald, listen, bruh. And listen, y'all, please hit that like button. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button too. You know what I'm saying? But bruh, you know what I'm saying? Oh, wait a minute. And Drew, everything that I just said, hold on for a second, Donald. Everything that I just said, Drew, you know what I'm saying? Like the things that I'm alluding to, you know what I'm saying? Do you agree with what my interpretation of today's events were talking to you without actually saying what it is that we talked about? Because did you study it? Did you study it, Drew? Did you give it more thought? Hmm? Like, I need you to validate that conversation right now. Okay? Validate that conversation. That's what I need. I need you to validate what I said to you earlier so that when I make this video tomorrow and explain to everybody here, you know what I'm saying, what I said and the way I explained it to you, but more importantly, when I said it. That's the thing. I'm playing the time game now. For real. It's like I'm playing the time game. Like this is I'm gonna make a time capsule tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? And I know you're gonna know I know you already know what I'm talking about because that time capsule is gonna be basically a repeat of you and I's conversation, but I'm just gonna explain it, my own way. Save this video too as a reference. Yeah, that's why I'm having you in real time right now, type the things that you're typing and saying the things that you're saying because it will help to add a little more validity to the claims once that video comes out. You understand what I'm saying? That's the part. That's the crazy part. Okay. Blue Pill said, pass that blunt, broski. Yo, dog, on the real, bro. I don't do blunts anymore, man. Nah, you know what I'm saying? That's not the move for your boy. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I'm on who is this? This is Kind Tree, Pink Moochie. Okay. Yeah. So that's what I'm on right now. Leo, we are definitely going back to the Super Bowl and we are going to win. We are going back to call Fly Eagles Fly the Super Bowl victory. Listen, here's the problem with that. You know what I'm saying? Here's the problem with that. Okay. And it's not even our fault. Okay. Here's the problem with that. They all think that they are playing last year's team. Okay. Think about it. You know what I'm saying? We have five of the top 100 players on our team, and the number one guy is our running back. The number one top 100 player is our running back. Okay, just think on this. You know what I'm saying? Um, Offensively, we are returning 10 out of our 11 starters from last year. Okay, but y'all know Mekhi is the only one that didn't come back. All right, so the stability offensively for this team is going to come from within the players themselves. Their ability to properly govern themselves, police themselves. You know what I'm saying? Hold each other accountable, get tight, and then create that bubble or whatever it is. Because of all the things that you know, there are 10 guys in our offense who experienced something and understood right from the rip what they believe to be is the secret sauce. If you think about what Nick Sirianni is his message for this year, it's contribution over credit. That's the thing. Contribution over credit. You know what I'm saying? And to me, when I think about like the fact that AJ doesn't have a whole lot of targets and neither does Devontae and Saquon ain't getting his yards because they shutting them down, all this other shit. And at the end of the day, they're still just 2-0, still haven't figured shit out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at I'm looking at body language and everything like that. Nothing tells me that offensively, nothing tells me these guys aren't tight. I think they're just tighter. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they have to say so much now. You know what I'm saying? I think they trust that they all see the same thing, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? And that it'll get fixed. I really do think that. That's where the stability from the offensive side of this of the team is, right? Defensively, okay? Defensively, our stability on the defense because we are returning. We're not just returning four starters from last year, okay? But we're also returning 11 guys on the defense who were there last year, okay? Forget the guys that we lost. There are 11 people on our defense this year who were on the team last year, whether they were in a start, whether it was a starting capacity or a depth piece or team two. There are 11 guys on our defense who are going into year two of the Vic Fangio defense. Okay, this is just year two for at least 11 people on our defense. Whatever, again, just, you know, 11 guys. There are 11 guys. So our stability defensively is going to come from the coaching staff because we're bringing in so many other guys on defense. I think we're bringing 35 guys in total on defense. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's got to, you see what I'm saying? And that's what I'm thinking. Like I'm thinking, you know, man, there's going to be, you know, like this is going to take a little time, but for them to pick up, it seemed to me defensively, yes, they're going to be wide receivers who are going to eat. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, it's going to be teams like that are going to have a wide receiver 1A and a wide receiver 1B, just like we have. You know what I'm saying? Los Angeles has that right now. Los Angeles has Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. They got a premier running back, Kyron Williams. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like they're devoid of talent. You know what I'm saying? And y'all already know it's Sean fucking McVay. You know what I'm saying? He's a damn good coach and he's young as shit too. Okay, he's still young, you know what I'm saying, but he's good. So I'm not taking like I'm excited because this is a real test early. You know what I'm saying? Drew, I'm back. As much as you say Giants close to Cowboys, the Cowboys close to the Eagles. It's just we too. No, you're not. Oh, no, you're not. Uh-uh. Coyote, you cannot say that when your team just let somebody score 37 points on you and threw for over 450 yards. Like that was like what you saw. He's right if you think about it. You guys had to score 40 points. They still scored 37 points on y'all. Okay, that like at the end of the day, that's 450 yards. Your defense allowed for 450 yards. Again, the main thing. You won. Got it. But you have to do a triage as to what happened defensively. 37 is a number that gets everybody's attention, like 40. The Giants let y'all score 40 points on them. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows why. Okay. It's not hard. Everybody know why. You know what I'm saying? Why y'all were able to score 40 points. Now nobody was surprised about that. Everybody was surprised that y'all allowed for 37 points to be scored on you, and you let Russell throw for over 450 yards. God damn. You know what I'm saying? And Coyote, you don't have to have the conversation here with us, but I want you to understand, I do want you to realize this is the bird section and all are welcome. You know what I'm saying? This isn't troll station. This is a let's break this fucking down. Let's really talk about it, because at the end of the day, you can be mad at me for saying the things that I'm saying, but I'm not trolling. I'm telling you that really fucking happened. You can't say that we not, because we gave up 37 without forgetting we scored 40. Coyote, you're missing the point. That's not. I said that, but the point is that your defense still allowed. Let's compartmentalize. Let's compartmentalize that win for you, okay? You know what I'm saying? Dak did his thing. CD did his thing. George Pickens did his thing. They caught their passes. Y'all were running the ball great. And y'all took advantage of the Giants' fuck ups. But offensively, y'all looked the way I thought y'all were going to look. Honestly, offensively, I thought that. I really did. I mean, seriously, I really thought that. You know what I'm saying? I just wasn't prepared to see 37. I wasn't prepared to see Russell throw for 450 yards. 450 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to talk about that. You have to. And again, you're more than welcome to you are more than welcome to bring that here if you want to, but truth be told, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I ain't want to be in someone's house and everything like that, but shit. You don't have the band like right now, you know what I'm saying, as a Cowboys fan, you know what I'm saying, and a Giants fan, you really don't have bandwidth to really know. You shouldn't know what we doing. You really shouldn't. Well, as a Cowboy fan, you would, because we beat y'all. But I'm just saying, you really know, you know, and I've hold on. Cowboys fans think they're going to the Super Bowl. Coyote said, Giants have talent. Their defensive line is legit. They just not coached well. Yeah, yeah. Listen, uh, we can talk about that too. That's a conversation too, and I don't disagree with you on that opening salvo of that conversation. But that's not the one I'm having with you right now. The one I'm having with you right now is 450 yards passing and 37 points. How? Why? Okay. Like that's alarming. We had no excuses to why we didn't do better on defense. I never said we world beaters, just pointing out that we not that bad because of our offense. Okay, but that's not actually addressing the actual how. You know what I'm saying? Like what actually was going on? What was happening? Was the defense, was the DBs, not able to keep up with the wide receiver, Malik Neighbors? I saw, like what in your opinion, like break it down. Like let's get into the weeds of it all. You know what I'm saying? Because that was terrible. That should have never happened. 450 yards and 37 points. Shit. You know what I'm saying? That means something catastrophic happened. That was a there was a defensively, something catastrophic happened over a sustained period of time too. Because they was kicking y'all asses. Okay. They was whooping y'all asses defensively. You know what I'm saying? They was really like they was. I don't think I don't think the defense even gave two shits about the score of the game. I don't think the Giants defense came there to play football. I think they came there to fight. They just want to hit people, and y'all were next. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it was. I mean, like at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, they're not a well coached team. That's what a not well coached team. But they're a formidable front line. Yeah, they are, and I'm not saying that like in no kind of condescending way or whatever. It's true. Listen, Jesse be having reasons to say some of the shit that he be saying when he's talking about, ooh, we in the weeds. I get it. Hold on. It's week 2. Let them have their hope. Us picking up Z Smith, even though Clowns was still out there, shows exactly how we felt about Clowns. Bruh, Blue Pill, you not lying. Wait, Washington in more trouble, I think. Reason why is we have room to grow on defense. We lost Micah for Clark, but he's getting acclimated. Bland, Overshown, Revel, all out. We will improve. There you go. Okay, see, Coyote? That's what I'm talking about, Coyote. I like that. I'll go with that. Okay. Yeah, I said that. Washington, y'all better let him sit down. It's early enough that y'all should let him sit down. Let him sit down. Okay. That knee, give that knee an extra week's rest. You need him for the whole year. Let him sit down. Okay. It'd just be week 3. So fucking what? You know what I'm saying? Because like right now, isn't there like in the division in the NFC East, isn't it like a two-way tie for second place or something in the division between y'all and the Giants, right? Because y'all both are 1-1 in the division. No, no. You and Washington are 1-1, right? Yeah. You and Washington are 1-1. That O-line Cowboys guy is kind of good. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, they just took a hit on the O-line, didn't they? But hey, it was smart to sign Tyler Smith, get him locked up. Like, okay, what you should have been doing with everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, yeah, they're going to be an issue. But I think I don't care. When I look at Zadarius Smith, like he's it's just like with Clowney for him, let him and Jacorian Bennett get more acclimated to being on a team. Like I liked what I saw from Zadarius Smith on Sunday. And he's just going to get better. But I think Vic will figure out ways to use him. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? I really thought this was important because I wanted to point this out because I had to calm somebody down earlier too about this. So look, y'all, I'm gonna say this again. This team is not last year's team. Okay. That being said, you know what I'm saying? Uh our defense sacked Patrick Mahomes in 6 times in the Super Bowl, and we only sent 4 men. We only sent 4 people the entire time. We did not blitz one time in the Super Bowl, okay? That everybody knows that's a fact, right? Okay. Here's the thing. That's not who we actually are, okay? We are a blitzing team. That's just what it just not blitzing just happened to work for the Super Bowl. Okay. But that's not what we are as a whole. You know what I'm saying? We are a attack and get after the quarterback. And what I saw that can be built upon as long because what we're gonna need, I think Zadori Smith is gonna need just time. You know what I'm saying? Some more live fire exercises. Right now, he's only had 4 live fire exercises with this team. You know what I'm saying? And so I want to see a little bit more because I think he's just gonna get better and better and better. And I think what's going to happen is that I think that this defense, and I'm keeping it, compartmentalized. I think the Eagles defense is going to heat up as we get longer in the tooth in the season. You know what I'm saying? Because again, we everybody's learning together. You know what I'm saying? Uh Washington and more trying to think. Improve. That O line get kind of good. Is BB the one that was snapping on to his mom? Center BB is hurt 6 to 8. We have a center that started multiple games for us. Hoffman. His play and pass was solid. Okay, it's like we have to get used to who we are now. Like you said, we are a different team. It is. We have some growing to do. Yeah, look, y'all. Check this out, right? And that's true. Listen, y'all. So did y'all know that last year the Philadelphia Eagles ranked number 4 for most offensive line combinations? We ranked number 4. Okay. We ranked number 4 for the most offensive line combinations. We had 29 different offensive line combinations. Yet, we still had a 2,500 yard rusher, a 1,000 yard wide receiver, 800 and something yard wide receiver, and our quarterback was the shit. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, having that type of success, you know what I'm saying, and being able to carry that into this season, you know what I'm saying, it makes it sort of kind of like indicative of the things about this team that cause me to be of not too much concern and excited. uh uh Injuries are a thing for all teams at some point. Just got to survive. That's true. The Eagles defense could be better than last year's defense. That's crazy. That's scary. Leo, that's crazy. That's a crazy stat. So no excuses, right? Absolutely, Drew. Yeah. And yes, I do think that this defense could actually be better because let me tell you why. And I think it will get better. Let me tell you why. Remember at the beginning of this whole subject, I told y'all, you know what I'm saying, that we're bringing back 11 guys on our defense, whether they were starters or number twos. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because though for 11 guys on our defense, or is it 17? It's 11. For 11 of the guys on our defense, it's only year 2 in Vic Fangio's defense. So we got X amount of players, 30 something players, you know what I'm saying? Or yeah, or yeah, half our defense, a little bit more than half our defense will be in year 1 of the Vic Fangio defense. We got guys, the guys that left in free agency and got cut and all that shit and retired, you know what I'm saying? There are a lot of guys on the team who were their backups last year. That's important. That's Drew, your defense started kind of iffy last year. They have been solid and even slightly better thus far, but we'll see. Depends on how they peak. Yeah, that's my point. It's going to take time. You know what I'm saying? Like they need it, but the good news is that it was kind of interesting, and this is why I was keep pointing this out. That's where our sense of stability. It's the first time our defense is going to be in year 2 of the same scheme. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where remember I was talking about stability. It's interesting how Jalen doesn't get that. You know what I'm saying? Jalen gets a brand new offensive coordinator every fucking year. Every year, he gets a brand new offensive coordinator. Do you know how many offenses this dude had to memorize 5 different offenses year after year after year? And you know what? One thing I will say that I always see that people kind of get scan over or miss or whatever is that mere fact right there. You do like I look at people like, oh, you do realize this dude had to learn a brand new offense every year for the last 5 fucking years. Do you really think? Would you be willing to try? Everybody likes to go to bat for Josh Allen, right? Okay. Do you think Josh Allen would be the kind of successful he has been if he had to have 5 different offensive coordinators every year? Do you think Lamar would be where he is right now if he had 5 different, you know what I'm saying? 5 different offensive coordinators for 5 straight years? Patrick Mahomes, you know what I'm saying? Do you really think that, like, what would give Dak Prescott, you know what I'm saying? What would give you the idea or the thought behind, like, what is it about those quarterbacks that would make you think that they could thrive under the same kind of conditions that Jalen Hurts had to work under? Like, name me, like, show me. That's the part that I always have to, when they start talking about quarterbacks and Jalen and all this other stuff, and I'm like, yeah, but the new guys learn 5 different offenses in 5 years and be as successful as Jalen in that amount of time? Bro, how scary the defense get if Howie can actually solidify that second cornerback position. And that's part of that's one of those other elements that go into, we'll know by week 5. We'll know by week 5. We'll know. You know what I'm saying? We'll know. Especially if he brings someone in here, another person in here. I'm saying it's going to be Jacorian Bennett. You know what I'm saying? Again, another player who had to get acclimated to being here. You know what I'm saying? He was with the Raiders last year. You know what I'm saying? He's going into year 1 of the Vic Fangio defense. Jalen has the best O line and defense. That makes up for new coaches. No, no, no. Listen, every offense is like a whole nother language you have to learn. Okay. You have to learn, not you have, it's a language that you have to speak. It's the ability to absorb the information and then be able to process it and use it in the way that it's meant to be. That's the scheme, the whole 9 yards. And if you look at Jalen's trajectory, you know what I'm saying? When Jason Kelsey retired, okay, the duties of calling out the protections, Jalen assumed those duties. That's why you don't see Cam Jurgens, having to call out protections. Jalen calls it now, like a traditional quarterback should. But Jalen does it now. You see what I'm saying? And it's things like that when I look at the 5 different offensive coordinators, yet Jalen has progressed every year since he's been in the league. You know what I'm saying? Truth be told, and y'all could, correct me if I'm wrong, right? Regardless of what team you are on, you know what I'm saying? Wouldn't you say that Jalen and them kind of responded pretty good to losing the Super Bowl and the collapse, the way that they responded? You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, the fact that they made it back to the Super Bowl, like, it was like the quickest bounce back ever, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Especially with what happened in between those 2 Super Bowls, the year of the collapse. And for them to come back and they look like this, shh, okay. And the only spots where we have new coaches I mean, is just on the offense. Everything else is like the only stability has been on the defensive side. Vic, Clint, Christian, you know what I'm saying? All them dudes, they coming back and they bought in. These guys are bought in. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, like Drew, uh uh Coyote Jones, Bennett fitting in would be great, but I feel like Howie has to go out and bring in another cornerback. Listen, I have the supreme confidence. I don't think that Howie isn't looking. I don't think that Howie is sitting still right now. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised if it's quarter after 12. I wouldn't be surprised if his ass is on the phone with somebody right now trying to make some shit happen. I don't put it past him. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. You know, whoever the next guy is will be here, you know. And if you're not able to contribute in a meaningful way, you can go. Nick said it. Contribution over credit. That's what the mantra of this team is. Contribution over credit. And it's just to me, like I said, you know, at this point, I'm willing to give up a number one pick for a cornerback. The time is now. You know what? I wouldn't be opposed to that. Only thing is though, is just that the money. It's got to make sense. If we're going to do a patchwork, you can do a quality patchwork without it costing you a number one. You understand what I'm saying? You know, you can go get you can go get Asante, son. You know what I'm saying? You can go get Mike Hilton. You know what I'm saying? It's you know, like, and you're gonna need that. You're gonna need those. You're gonna need a lot of those DBs. You really are. This is gonna be a long ass. This is gonna be a long ass fucking season. Okay, this is gonna be a season of attrition. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention, if you go get another DB, that means somebody got to be gone. Who? We just brought back Kenyon Green. You know what I'm saying? So again, you know, like I don't see I just don't see, you know, I don't see, you know, I think that's pushing a nuclear, but you don't have to. You don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Give up a number one pick. You're right though, blue pill. I mean, if he did it, I wouldn't be shit. You know, it's always about the money. You know what I'm saying? Everyone keeps saying how we do it. I don't know either, y'all, but damn it, you know what I'm saying? I still ask. Are we going for this now? You know what I'm saying? Howie? I know this is you, so okay, let's go. You know, let's go. You know, but yeah, you know, I really think, you know, you know, this team is I think they're gonna start to heat up, you know, hopefully, you know, by week 6. You know what I'm saying? Week 5, week 6. The only reason why I'm saying week 6 is because we're 2-0 right now. You see what I'm saying? So I still give I'm even willing to still give them a 4-game cushion just for now. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to see I want to see Smith. I want to see Zachorian Smith, and then also Nolan and them. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, we get the Kobe back after a while too in the next couple months. Shit. Oh man. Uh, could y'all imagine Zach Bond, Kobe Dean, and Jihad Campbell on the field together? That's our line. Those are our 3 linebackers. Can you imagine that? You know, and mind you, y'all know N'Kobe coming back motivated because he in a contract year. You know what I'm saying? So he trying to and he can't stay healthy. So it's like, all right, so he gonna come back like game busters, and I believe Vic gonna give him the opportunity to do it too. Mm. I really do. I really think that I think Vic gonna give him a chance. You know what I'm saying? Like we're like a Mercedes Benz in the winter, baby. We just getting warmed up. Blue pill. Listen, I'm just pointing out like the things that I see. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? Like we should if listen, if these cats somehow or another go 4-0, right? If they were to go 4-0, I don't think it changes. I think it'll be this is what I really think, okay? Let's say the Eagles were to go 4-0, right? Here's the thing. I think it would be the ugliest and the slowest. It would be the ugliest 4-0 ever. I really do. And the only reason why I say that is because I looked at the schedule. I'm looking at this team offensively and defensively, and I'm saying to myself, okay, everybody is from week 1 to week 4, everybody is stumbling and bumbling through their games. We all are, okay? The teams that are normally good, some of them are stumbling, bumbling really well, you know what I'm saying? But for at least the first 4 weeks, every one of those games are you're stumbling and bumbling your way. Somebody's got to win these games. If everybody is stumbling and bumbling, it still means that somebody's got to win the game anyway. Some of these stumbling, bumbling teams can stumble and bumble their way to 4-0, but it doesn't mean that they're who they could be. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think about this Eagles team. If we were 4-0, it would be a stumbling. Oh, we stumbled and bumbled our way, but we are still a slow team. You all know. Sometimes, you know what? This is how I could really say it. Y'all already know. Sometimes a slow start could be 2-2. Okay. And sometimes a slow start could be 4-0. That's this team. And when I mean that's this team, it could be 2-2, it could be 4, it could be 4-0, it could be 3-1, it could be 0-4. The first 4 games that's y'all don't like, come on. My expectations is I guess is set a little bit different only because if we were to go 4-0, I would not think that's an accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? I would think it's an accomplishment. I would think that, like, okay, but it would be a slow. That's what I mean by a slow 4-0. You know what I'm saying? I would look at 4-0 the same way I would look at 2-2 last year. You know what I'm saying? Because it was after that fourth game, the heat up began. You see what I'm saying? And we went on a long sustained run. You know what I'm saying? But we kept getting better and better. You know what I'm saying? Remember when they pissed Jalen off because they was talking about the fact that he don't throw the ball, and then he went out there and him, AJ, and Devontae, they carved up somebody, and Jalen came in and was like, "Is that what y'all wanted? That what y'all wanted to see?" I can't remember who it was, but he fucked somebody up. You know what I'm saying? After they was writing about that all this other stuff. Uh, uh, it feels like we've been tested every week so far and we've passed. And now this week we have the biggest test so far. Laugh out loud. What a great level of football we are witnessing, honestly. And that's, blue pill, you know what I'm saying? I'm still young. Okay. I am still young on this YouTube shit. Okay. I really am. But if when I get up there or whatever, I'm going to figure out ways to give you like, your flowers, okay? Because you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Okay. I 1,000,000% agree with you. You know what I'm saying? It To stumble and bumble your way to 4-0 is a great accomplishment, but it's still stumbling and bumbling. And with this team here, and I look at the way this defense is, you know what I'm saying? This defense is young. These dudes are learning to play together. There's a lot of year tours of this defense, okay? I know there are players on the defense who have been with the team for more than 2 years. I get that. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about players who have been in this defense who are going into their second year into this defense. Vic is still figuring out what the fuck he got. He's still playing around with this shit. And if you think about, like if you think about it, like even at the press conference, Vic was like somebody must have got to Vic and he was like, yo, that's a Howie question. Don't ask me. You should ask Howie. You know what I'm saying? But look at what Howie does. Every new toy is something for Vic. Every new toy is something for Vic. You know what I'm saying? If you like, you're not cutting it. Okay, yo, Howie, he got to go. Go get me somebody. Okay, Vic. That's what it seemed like to me. Seriously, you know what I'm saying? It feels like, yeah. Bruce Banner versus Pittsburgh. I don't know what that means. Versus Pittsburgh. Hold on, did I miss something? Did I miss something? Okay, no. Bruce Banner, tell me what you're talking about. Versus Pittsburgh. All right, but yeah, I think we are in the beginnings of witnessing something very, very special happening here. You know what I'm saying? And I already told, like I was telling Drew, I'm already on the hook, y'all, with Mark because I was talking so much shit uh right before the Super Bowl, you know what I'm saying? And in a moment I looked at Mark and I was like, Mark, we're gonna repeat. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah. And I said to him, I was like, you want to record it? Want me to say it again? He was like, yeah. And I said it. I said, not only are we going to repeat, we're going to threaten the three-peat. And he was like, okay, all right. So now, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, okay. So you see how, and the reason why I bring it up, because I see how, people like him like to, yeah, I know Mark is Mark, yeah. But see, Mark likes to manufacture controversy. You know what I'm saying? That's the part that's, like he likes to, manufacture, it looks like, and I'm like, it looks like what? I never know what the hell he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff. And what's interesting about Mark too is that, Mark actually he talks a lot about the Eagles. It's not even so much anymore what it is that he's talking about. It's just the mere fact that he's talking about it. In fact, let me tell you how much we stay on his mind, right? This is how much the Eagles are on, like, you'll know how much the Eagles are on his mind when he signs in and he goes, hey everybody, it's Mark Holmes with Joe Boo. Hey everybody and Eagles fans. That's what he do. That's what he do. And Eagles fans. We're we're in a whole nother category of human being. Or fanatic. We're in a subcategory. That's we something else. To Mark Holmes, we are we are something other than it really felt that way, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I said repeat right after we won. Wait, wait, blue pill. wait. I said this before the game. You know what I'm saying? I said this. Listen, uh, go if you haven't if you haven't done so, right? You go back on Mark's go back to Mark's page and go through his catalog, his library catalog, and go back to the last call-in show before the Super Bowl, because I think that's when I said it, and listen to how everybody cooked me. Okay. Mark, and I was being very, very outrageous, you know what I'm saying? Uh uh oh shit, before it's crazy. Cowboy fans are a bunch of squares. Yeah, before it was before. It was the week before, and I was talking big shit. Listen, y'all. If y'all have not, and please hit the like button while y'all in here. But listen, y'all. If y'all go back and watch it, I talked some cash shit. Okay, I was talking big shit. I've been talking big shit all year, I think, but that week I was in it. You know what I'm saying? And like it was, especially after we beat the shit out of the Commanders. You know what I'm saying? Mark and them was like, go look at it, all right. And Mark and them was like, get the fuck out of here now. You know what I'm saying? Like Mark was praying for the Kansas City Chiefs to beat us. You know what I'm saying? Because he knew, and I promised him and everybody it's in there. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna start making clips. I'm gonna go back through that shit and start making clips because it's in there. Me saying to them, you know what I'm saying? All the shit that they were saying to me. I'm about to cut that shit up and make some videos. Now that I think about it, because I can go back myself and get them. Yep. Mark, Thomas Garrett, who else? Momo, all of them. Momo ain't say shit after we beat the shit out of them. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, go back and watch that right before the Super Bowl, the last call-in show. I was talking my best shit, and God, the motherfuckers won. But I said repeat. So now I'm not completely off the hook. I just got the first part of it. I got the first part right. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I talked cash shit that night. Oh my God. I think I was high as hell too. And in it, I was in my bag, y'all. I was in my bag. I promise you, I was in my bag. You know what I mean? So it was fun. You know what I'm saying? Going through it with them. But now here's the thing. I told them if it happens, you know what I'm saying? Check this out, right? Uh, Bruce Banner said, I seen it, just can't be in the chat. I'm blocked. Yeah, Cowboy fans are a bunch of squares. Yeah. All right. So check this out, Bruce, right? And this is partially why I am the way that I am when it comes to the bird section, and why I make it a point to make sure people know, all are welcome here, right? And the reason why is because you know, here on the bird section, I don't need a peanut gallery. You know what I'm saying? Mm, don't get me wrong. This is an Eagles safe space, but this is a safe space for everybody equally. You know what I'm saying? All I ask is you mind the manner in which you say things, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? It's football. And I like to have a reasonable type of conversation, not just call always trolling. You know what I'm saying? Like you saw how I was trying to do with Coyote, you know what I'm saying? I was trying to I had to make sure I stuck to the fact that, you know what I'm saying, what's the lessons learned here? You know what I'm saying? Like what are the lessons learned in every aspect? You know what I'm saying? Like whenever when I was downrange, you know what I'm saying, whenever we went out on mission or anything like that and we came back, You know what I'm saying? You have to do a lessons learned. What did you see? What could you have done different? You know what I'm saying? You know, how safety brief, all that shit. You see what I'm saying? These are things. When I see something happen on my team, for instance, someone scored 37 points on my team and threw for 400 and over 450 yards on us. You know what I'm saying? What's the lessons learned here? How did this happen? How, like, what, you know what I'm saying? Are Cowboy fans actually asking that? And after a while, trying to convince Coyote that I was really truly here to discuss the what happened and not actually troll. You know what I'm saying? That's when he had his whole breakdown. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, see, that's what I'm looking for. Right there. You know what I'm saying? Right there. That's it. Because at the end of the day, I think what people fail to realize, and this is what I love about this channel, and I love about these different communities and everything like that, is there is a common type of camaraderie that happens here after a while. There are times when we look past our fandom, depending on certain circumstances with people. You know what I'm saying? There are times where Cowboy fans will put down their fandom just for a minute, just to acknowledge the fact that I'm a veteran. You know what I'm saying? Like they do that type of shit. They always say thank you for your service, yeah, and all that stuff. And so there are things that transcend being the fandom part of it all. You know, I think it serves a bit as a public service. If you look at the fact that Mark Holmes was brave enough to use his platform by bringing about awareness to, men's prostate and colonoscopies by sharing his publicly, it brought awareness about it. You know what I'm saying? Now, the response for a lot of people was he became the butt of a lot of jokes, and I get it. But at the same time, I think when you have acts of service like that, you know what I'm saying, rather than, you know, just as you should be equally as you should be equally as ready to give the person those flowers when they do an act of service such as the one he did. Y'all know men's prostate colonoscopies and all that stuff when you get to a certain age, that's a problem amongst men, all men, white, black, Hispanic, all of us. You see what I'm saying? And the fact that, Mark used his platform by using himself to bring about awareness just for a minute as a human being to other human being, that was a true act of service, and I thank them for that, and I do thank him for that. I thank him for doing that. You know what I'm saying? And part of the problem with men not getting their prostate checked and everything is the fact that we don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And for Mark to do that, that's truly, truly he should be truly commended for that. Uh, I wonder if Cowboy fans are as hard on their team as we are on our birds. Blue pill, they're never hard on them. All right, so here's what I learned, right? No, they are not. Okay. Not like us. And I'm gonna be honest with you, okay? It's not fair to judge them using because your frame of reference is different than any other fan base. If there's one thing about Eagles fans that we are known for, we are our fan base is known for being in particular very hard on its own players. We keep it a buck all the time. That's our thing. It's what we're known for. You know what I'm saying? Buffalo Bill fans are the Bills Mafia and all that stuff. Yeah, like being hard on the players. That's why everyone tells you that to play in Philadelphia, you have to have a thick skin. And it is the truth. I know it sounds crazy and Da, 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 da. It's just one of those things that you actually have to be here. Let those players start fucking up. Oh no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. You know what I'm saying? Everybody looked at Jalen Carter like, what? Ugh. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm sure he heard it. You know what I'm saying? Now here's the thing though. When you do good, oh, the love. You know what I'm saying? The love the city has. You know what I'm saying? You truly experience the brotherly love. You know what I'm saying? They get behind you. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you looking like a bully, if you just looking like everybody didn't even think like that. That whole underdog thing, when we won the first one, that was really Philly. You know what I'm saying? That was I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers might actually pull this shit off because it was like next man up and dog mentality thing going on that Lane and them started fucking around. You know what I'm saying? And sure enough, remember the mask and all that shit. Next thing you know, you got Kelsey in the Mummers uniform dancing down, down the main avenue, going to the museum, shit, in the parade. So just saying, y'all, like for real, you know, it's going again, the first four games, we're still stumbling and bumbling. But we look good stumbling and bumbling though. I will say that we the best looking stumbling bumbling team. Oh nope, I'm sorry. Nope. Not us. Not us. We're not the best looking stumbling bumbling team. Who's the best looking stumbling bumbling team out there? Probably the Chargers. Or did they just lose? No, they're 2-0. Yeah, the Chargers. I think they look good. You know what I'm saying? I also think that I think the Rams look good too. You know, they look like they're ahead of us, to be honest with you, in their development. I think they're ahead of us. Um, who else? Uh I can't think of anybody else. But look, y'all, I'm getting ready to call it a night. You know what I'm saying? I've been on here long enough. Thanks for hanging out with me, y'all. And while you've been here, please hit that like and subscribe button. I'll uh I'll pop back up in here probably like maybe sometime tomorrow, okay? So then I'll see y'all later on the birds.